Imagine waking up. Your hand reaches for your phone before you're even conscious. The glow of the screen pulls you in. Scroll, scroll, scroll. A flood of notifications, a dopamine rush. It feels good, so you keep going. 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes, an hour. You were going to start your day, but the day has already started without you. And this is the most effective form of control ever created. A prison so perfect, we never even see the walls. Once, control meant chains, dictators, oppression. But today, it's different. Today, control looks like convenience. It feels like pleasure. And we embrace it willingly. The most effective form of power isn't the one that's forced upon us. It's the one we choose ourselves. A world where people don't need to be oppressed because they're too distracted to notice. Where rebellion isn't crushed because no one even thinks of rebelling. Where control isn't maintained through violence because it's maintained through pleasure. This isn't a dystopian novel. This is reality, and we are living inside it. This was Aldous Huxley's warning. A world where pleasure, not pain, would become the tool of ultimate submission. Where people wouldn't need to be forced into obedience because they'd be too distracted to care, too entertained to resist. Unlike Orwell, who feared a world ruled by terror, Huxley saw something more insidious. A prison that didn't need walls. A system so perfect that its prisoners would never dream of escape. He called it Brave New World. And today, we are living inside it. In Brave New World, control isn't enforced with violence. There is no war, no oppression, no rebellion, because there's no need. The people have their pleasure, entertainment, comfort, endless distractions. Huxley understood something chilling. Control doesn't require force if people willingly surrender their minds. Orwell imagined a world where books were banned. Huxley saw a world where books would be unnecessary because no one would care to read them. Orwell feared a society deprived of truth. Huxley feared a society drowning in meaningless information. One man saw a boot crushing a human face. The other saw a world where people would love their servitude. Which future came true? We live in an era where algorithms predict what we want before we know it ourselves, where endless entertainment keeps us sedated, where consumerism keeps us chasing, never questioning, and we call it freedom. But is it? Orwell feared a world of fear. Huxley feared a world of pleasure. Orwell saw governments crushing freedom. Huxley saw people surrendering it without a fight. One saw a boot smashing a human face. The other saw something far worse, people loving their own servitude. This wasn't just fiction. It was a warning, and we ignored it. Which future came true? We live in a world where algorithms predict our desires before we even feel them, where endless entertainment keeps us sedated, where consumerism keeps us chasing, never questioning, and we call it freedom. We stand in elevators staring at screens. We sit at dinner tables, scrolling instead of speaking. We consume, but do we ever create? We are bombarded with facts, yet never question. We consume trends, mistaking them for leadership. We think we are informed, but in reality, we are drowning in noise. Huxley's nightmare wasn't about oppression. It was about a world where no one needed to be forced into obedience because they were too entertained to resist. The Roman Empire controlled its citizens with bread and circuses. Today, it's social media and dopamine. Are we truly free? Or are we just comfortable? Pleasure is powerful, but too much. It's a cage. Our brains weren't designed for endless dopamine. Yet today, we live in a world where pleasure is cheap, instant, and always available. The human brain thrives on reward. A hit of dopamine makes us feel good. And so we chase it again and again. Social media, fast food, porn shopping, scrolling. The list never ends. What happens when everything is engineered for maximum pleasure? Addiction, numbness, dependence. Our minds become rewired. We stop seeking meaning. We stop striving for real accomplishment. We become slaves to the next hit of dopamine, the next distraction, the next escape. Huxley understood this. He didn't just predict pleasure as control. He explained why it works. A society hooked on pleasure doesn't ask questions. A society addicted to entertainment doesn't seek truth. A society comfortable in its distractions never revolts. The real danger of the modern world, not oppression, apathy. Everywhere we turn, pleasure is waiting for us. But is this pleasure? Or is this addiction? We weren't meant for this. Our brains evolved to seek rewards. But today, rewards seek us. We don't think. We react. The algorithm predicts our desires before we even feel them. We are not in control. We are being controlled. History repeats itself. Every empire that indulged in endless pleasure crumbled. We tell ourselves we're in control of our lives, that we're making choices. But when every app, every notification, every ad is designed to hijack your mind, are you really in control? Or are you just another obedient consumer in a system built to keep you chasing the next dopamine hit? Why do we accept this? Why do we choose distraction over awareness? Because it's easy. Discomfort is painful. Growth takes effort. Reality is harsh. But pleasure? Pleasure is effortless. Pleasure is available at the tap of a screen, the press of a button, the swipe of a finger. And so we sink deeper. We let algorithms think for us. We let entertainment fill our silence. We let convenience shape our desires. We think we are free because we can choose between Netflix or YouTube, because we can swipe left or right, because we can buy whatever we want, whenever we want. But is that real freedom? Or just the illusion of choice? A person who has everything they want, but nothing they truly need, is not free. They are lost, and most never even realize it. Because the trap is comfortable, it lulls us in with its warmth, its ease, its promises of effortless existence. But comfort, unchecked, is a slow poison. It strips away our resilience, dulls our ambition, and blinds us to our own chains. We stop striving, stop questioning, stop pushing against the boundaries. We shrink into ourselves, mistaking ease for fulfillment. And in doing so, we surrender our freedom willingly. The greatest prisons are not built with bars, but with indulgence. And the most obedient slaves are the ones who never know they are bound. TikTok, YouTube, Netflix, an endless stream of content, keeping us passive. Books, forgotten. Deep thinking, replaced by scrolling. The illusion of happiness is sold to us. New clothes, new cars, new gadgets. We are told these will fulfill us. But fulfillment never comes, so we buy more. You feel anxious? Take a pill. Depression? Numb it. Stress? Escape into virtual worlds. We don't confront our problems. We medicate them. A world that numbs its pain is a world that cannot change. And that's exactly the point. What happens when we trade meaning for comfort? We stop thinking. The less we question, the more we accept. Critical thinking dies when entertainment is easier than reading, when distraction is easier than reflection. We become passive observers in a world that demands engagement. We let others think for us, decide for us, shape our reality while we drift through endless streams of content. Once, knowledge was something people fought for. Today, it's discarded in favor of quick answers and surface-level information. The world is louder than ever, but we have stopped truly listening. Without the ability to think deeply, to analyze, to challenge. Are we even truly alive? When we trade meaning for comfort, we lose real connection. We have more friends than ever, but we've never been lonelier. Social media is an illusion: likes, comments, followers, but no real human bond. We replace deep conversations with quick messages, genuine relationships with fleeting digital interactions. We seek validation in engagement metrics, not in the warmth of another person's presence. We no longer know how to be present, how to sit in silence with another, how to listen without distraction. And in this hyper-connected world, we have never felt more alone. When we trade meaning for comfort, we become fragile. Challenge builds strength, but modern life removes challenge. We are taught to avoid discomfort at all costs. Struggle is what shapes us. Failure teaches resilience. Hardship forges character. But in a world where everything is designed for ease, we are left unprepared for real life. We crumble under stress. We fear discomfort. We retreat at the first sign of hardship. A generation that avoids suffering also avoids growth. Huxley warned us of this. Are we listening? Escaping the pleasure trap requires more than just recognizing it. It demands deliberate action and discipline. The modern world is designed to steal your focus. To break free, reduce screen time, cut unnecessary distractions, and retrain your brain to crave depth over shallow stimulation. Replace passive consumption with active learning. Read books, write, engage in meaningful conversations. Growth never happens in comfort. Push yourself into challenges, whether through physical discipline, intellectual rigor, or emotional resilience. Learn to sit with boredom. Allow silence to sharpen your mind. Think for yourself. Question everything. Develop habits of mindfulness, self-awareness, and conscious living. Don't let algorithms dictate your desires. Control what you consume. Discipline isn't punishment. It's the path to true freedom. The world won't change, but you can. And that's where real freedom begins. Aldous Huxley was right. We are not forced into submission. We embrace it. We scroll instead of thinking. We consume instead of creating. We seek pleasure instead of meaning. But the cost is high. The price of pleasure is our freedom, and the choice is ours. Do we stay in the comfort of our distractions, or do we wake up? The prison door is open, but only if we choose to step through it. The most dangerous form of control is the one we never see, because the most powerful chains are the ones we choose to wear. Are you still choosing them? The greatest illusion of freedom is believing we have it, while willingly surrendering our minds to distractions. We trade our agency for ease, our independence for entertainment, our power for pleasure. And in doing so, we lose the very essence of what makes us human. The question isn't whether we are controlled. The question is, have we given up control willingly? The time to wake up is now. To think again, to resist the lure of passive consumption, to take back our focus, our minds, and our freedom. The world won't hand it back to us. We must reclaim it ourselves. Are you still choosing your chains, or will you break free? Right now, your phone is in your hand. Your screen is waiting. Another scroll, another click, another distraction. The world won't stop seducing you. The algorithms won't stop feeding you. The chains won't break themselves. But you can. You don't have to surrender. You don't have to live in this invisible prison. Because real freedom is the ability to walk away. The question isn't whether you are controlled. The question is, will you take control back? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts. so feel free to drop a comment below and share your opinions. We read every single one. Thanks for watching.